Conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism. Boys, in our yesterday's class, so that is stereoisomerism or spatial isomerism is broadly divided into two types. One is a conformational isomerism, another one is a configurational isomerism. Conformational isomerism, and the other one is configurational isomerism. Conformational isomerism. Now we are in conformational isomerism. So this conformational isomerism is due to free rotation along sigma bonds. That is a single bond. Because of free rotation, different spatial arrangements are possible. Because of that free rotation, those spatial isomers, so those are called as rotational isomers, are also called as boys. So those are called as conformers or conformational isomers or conformational isomers. Okay. So, but restricted rotation, that is what I told yesterday, that is geometrical isomerism. So restricted rotation around C double bond C or something else because of pi bonds, so that gives a configurational isomerism. So free rotation gives free rotation around single bonds, that is sigma bond gives conformational isomerism. Now we are in conformational isomerism. So see here, what is that? So what is this conformational isomers? What are these conformational isomers? So the isomers which arise because of free rotation about the sigma bonds, that is C single bond C, sigma bond, that is C single bond 3, or N single bond, any single bond. Here we are considering C single bond C, any bond are known as conformational isomers, and the phenomenon is known as conformational isomers. So very important. It is due to free rotation. It is important, boys. It is due to free rotation along single bonds. That is a sigma bond. It is due to free rotation around C single bond C. So different conformers are possible. Those are considered as conformational isomers, and the phenomenon is known as conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism. Okay. See here, boys. Let us observe. There is a C single bond C. Okay. Here carbon single bond means that carbon should be sp3, boys. That means one bond is covered and remaining 3 bonds are like this. These are the 3 other bonds. Here carbon is in sp3 hybridization and bond angle is 109 degrees 28 minutes. Bond angle is 109. This is a single bond, boys. This is a saturated carbon. That is 109 degrees 28 minutes. Here also same thing is available in same thing. Here these groups let it be A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. So these are the groups, boys. Now one carbon and second carbon, I am taking the rotation along these 2 carbons, boys. It is a single bond. I am trying to observe the rotation along this C single bond. Because of this free rotation, see here, so already we explained. So this is a single bond, boys. This is a single bond. So this is the group or atom attached. That free atom is free to rotate because of this free rotation. Because here electron density is cylindrically symmetrical in single sites. There is a free rotation of atoms or group of atoms is possible. Because of this free rotation, different spatial arrangements. See here, so this is the cap ending. So this cap is in this different directions, boys. Spatially, the directions are different. So because of this different spatial directions, the different conformers are possible. So those are all collectively called as conformational isomerism. It is only due to rotation. Only due to rotation. That is why these are also called as rotational isomers. These are also called as rotational isomers, boys. So because of rotation, different isomers are possible. That's why these are rotational isomers. Here, infinite number of three-dimensional forms are available. Infinite number of three-dimensional points. Every degree, every minute, every second of rotation gives a structure. That means infinite number of free rotations are possible. Every rotation gives different structures. That's why how many structures are possible, sir? Means infinite number of structures are possible. Infinite number of structures. Okay. So here conformational analysis, the term is used, boys. What is this conformational analysis? So there is the explanation of this conformational isomerism, boys. So see here. Now, conformational analysis. What is the meaning of this conformational analysis? So later I'm going to use these words, boys. So conformational analysis. What is the meaning of this conformational analysis? So it is nothing much. So that is the interpretation or prediction. It is totally assumption, boys. Prediction of physical properties and chemical properties. Physical properties and chemical properties. Physical properties and chemical properties of these conformers and of relative energies. That means the energy changes. That is from one conformer to another conformer, how much energy is changed. That energy changes are also observed here. So that is relative energies and also relative energies of substances. Relative energies of substances in terms of conformation or conformations of their molecules. So conformations of their molecules. That means, so what is this conformational analysis? Different conformers are possible. So those conformers, physical and chemical properties, and energy changes during that conformations, how these are possible. So that complete analysis, so directly from that compound and its derivatives. That complete analysis is called as conformational analysis. That complete analysis is called as conformational analysis. So this is the frequently used word, boys. So in this conformational isomerism, there is another frequently used analysis word is there, that is called as dihedral angle. Dihedral angle, which is also called as torsional angle. Dihedral angle or torsional angle. This is frequently used word, boys. So dihedral angle. What is dihedral angle? Frequently that word is used. What is this dihedral angle? See here, boys. So all this I will explain with an experiment. See here. This is one of those structures, boys. See here. Okay. Okay. This is our single bond, boys. Listen, see here. This is single bond. This is one carbon. This is one carbon attached to this single bond. This is another carbon attached to that single bond. Carbon and carbon. Okay. So around this single bond, this carbon is free to rotate. Boys, let us observe this. So free rotation of atoms is possible around that single bond. Is this clear or not? Whether the possible or not possible, that's free rotation. If pi bond is there, this free rotation is not possible, boys. Is the concept clear? Tell me. Is the concept clear? Tell me. This free rotation of atoms is possible end. Okay. So this is our carbon. It is our carbon. Boys, at the middle, a carbon is there. So it is our carbon ending. So this is, let it be hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. So it is a CH3. So at the middle carbon is there. At the middle carbon is there. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Okay. So that is, it is a CH3. It is another CH group. It is another carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Okay. See here, boys. So listen carefully. Listen carefully. From your side, boys, CH3 group is possible or not possible to view? From your side, this is carbon, this is hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Is this possible to view that carbon with the 3 hydrogens? Please respond. Is this carbon view or possible to view or not? This carbon is possible or not possible? Yes, but backside carbon is not possible. Am I correct? Backside carbon is not possible, but front carbon is possible. Front carbon. Okay. So that is why now, so the angle between, see here, boys, this is front carbon, this is hydrogen, this is back carbon. So here, this is back carbon, this is hydrogen. Okay. This is one plane, this is another plane. So this is one plane, this is another plane, boys. So one plane and another plane. See here. Okay. So the angle between this group and this group, this is the front side, this is back side. How much is the angle? So almost these are parallel to each other. That is why 0 degrees. So for example, I'm taking this front carbon as fixed position and I'm rotating this back carbon. I'm going to rotate, boys. See here. This is the angle. Tell me the angle between this group and this group. This group and this group. Something angle is there or not? Tell me. Something angle is there or not between these two groups, boys? Yes. So what is that angle? That angle is called as a dihedral angle. What is dihedral angle? That is the angle between one of the groups of front carbon and rear carbon. Front carbon and one of the groups of rear carbon. That angle is called as dihedral angle. It is not from same carbon. Those are the groups attached to different carbons. That angle is called as dihedral angle. Is the concept clear? Is the concept clear? What about dihedral angle? The dihedral angle is frequently used in our syllabus, boys. Very, very, very important. Okay. Now, what is the definition for this dihedral angle? See here. So dihedral angle. What is this dihedral angle? It is the angle between two specified groups. It is the angle between two specified groups. In Newman projection, I will explain, boys. In Newman projection, one at the front carbon and the other at the back carbon. Other at the back carbon. So that is the angle. So one group at the front carbon, one group at the back carbon. That angle is called as torsional angle or dihedral angle. The torsional angle or dihedral angle. So these are the frequently used word, boys. That is the dihedral angle. Next, one more word. See here. What is that? Repulsions are considered here also. See here, boys. That is repulsions. Van der Waals repulsions. What are these van der Waals repulsions? Here, this word is also frequently used, boys. See here. See here once again. Boys, let us take. Let us take. This is as methyl group. This one also as methyl group. Two methyl groups. Between these two, a shortest distance is there. Okay. This methyl group, or this hydrogen, this hydrogen. So these are very near to each other. Because of that, this group and this group are repel each other. Similar groups, between similar groups, if they are nearer to each other, repulsions are possible. Repulsions are possible. Okay. Those repulsions are due to van der Waals repulsions, and that is those are called as van der Waals repulsions. So that means these repulsions due to molecules, groups attached to carbon. So these are the van der Waals repulsions. So these are the repulsions. These are the repulsions between the groups. These are the repulsions between the groups of two bonded atoms. So these are the repulsions between the groups, boys. That's enough to you. Okay. These repulsions are called as van der Waals repulsions. So these van der Waals repulsions are directly proportional to size of the group. These van der Waals repulsions are directly proportional to size of the group. As the size of the group increases, distance between the groups decreases. As distance decreases, repulsions increases. So that means van der Waals repulsions are nothing but repulsions between the groups. One group from front carbon and one group from back carbonate. One group, yes, I will explain. Karthik, please wait. So one group from front carbon, one group for back carbon. Between these two groups, repulsions are possible. Those repulsions, as the size of the group increases, so the distance between these two groups decreases and repulsions increases. That's why van der Waals repulsions is directly proportional to size of the group, and van der Waals repulsions are variable. That means these are changed. From group to group, the van der Waals repulsions are changed. So small group has lower van der Waals forces, repulsions, and big size groups have high van der Waals repulsions, and big size has high van der Waals repulsions. Okay. Next, second one, another one is there. That is, these van der Waals repulsions are also called as steric repulsions. These van der Waals repulsions are also called as steric repulsions. Okay. Next, another one, torsional repulsions, angle strain. That is a torsional strain. These are torsional strain, which is also called as eclipsed strain. Torsional strain or eclipsed strain. Okay. So what is this torsional strain or eclipsed strain? So that is nothing but, boys, here also repulsions. Here also repulsions due to bond pair and bond pair. Repulsion due to bond pair and bond pair. See, boys, see here once again. This is one bond. So here bond pair is available. This is another bond pair is available. So between this bond pair and this bond pair, there is electronic repulsions are possible. Those repulsions are called as bond pair repulsions. Because of these two groups, repulsions are possible. Those repulsions are group repulsions, and those are group repulsions are called as van der Waals repulsions. Bond pair repulsions are called as this torsional repulsions, and this is due to bond pair repulsions. Boys, these bond pair repulsions are almost constant because bond pairs are not changed, boys. That means bond pair repulsions are almost constant, but van der Waals repulsions are variable. These are constant. Those are all these repulsions influences the stability of the molecule, boys. All these repulsions influences the stability of the molecule. So all these we are going to explain with the help of an example, in particular ethane. So now I'm going to explain conformational isomerism in ethane. Conformational isomerism in ethane. Very, very, very important, boys. See here. First one, conformational isomerism in ethane. First and simplest example to explain the conformational isomerism was ethane. What is ethane? So ethane, its formula C2H6N. It has CH3 bonded with CH3. Okay. Now I'm representing these two carbons like this, boys. This is carbon, so bonded with 3 hydrogens. It is CH3. So it is first CH3. This middle one is carbon. Okay. Now this carbon bonded with another carbon. This is another carbon. This is the single bond between. So this is the single bond between two carbon atoms, boys. It is the single bond between two carbon atoms. This is another carbon. Okay. It is also bonded with hydrogens and 3 hydrogens. It is also bonded with 3 hydrogens. So this is first methyl group. It is second methyl group. There is a bond between two carbons. See, boys, it is first carbon, it is second carbon. Here is I am going to observe the rotation, boys. Between carbon and carbon, that free rotation is I am going to explain. Okay. So this is free rotation. So here we are discussing free rotation, boys. So let us observe. Let us observe that is in this case. Just a minute, boys. Let us observe. So these are the cases. Just this one. This one and that one is same, boys. This one and that one is same. Did you catch my point? Boys, is the concept clear? Did you catch my point? These two are same end. These two are same. This is one carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Single bonds. Carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. 3 hydrogens. So this way of representation of 3-dimensional molecule on 2-dimensional plane. So this one explained by clearly, that is Newman draw this structure any. So that is why it is Sahar's. So it is Sahar's HOR. Sahar's structure. So this is Sahar's structure and a representation of 3-dimensional molecule on 2-dimensional plane. Okay. See, boys, exactly, please, you can view this carbon from here end. It is our viewpoint end. This is our viewpoint. View this carbon from here. So this is Sahar's structure end. Sahar's structure. This is our viewpoint, boys. This is our view. So view from here. So exactly backside carbon is there. So this hydrogen and this hydrogen are the same. This hydrogen and this hydrogen are the same. This hydrogen and this hydrogen are in the same. Okay. So that means, from this view, only you can view these 3 hydrogens, but not these 3 hydrogens. From this end, you can view only front 3 carbon and 3 hydrogens. See here. See, this is from your side, boys. This is your front carbon. See here. This is your viewpoint. This is the carbon. This hydrogen, this hydrogen, and this hydrogen can be viewable, but not backside 3 carbons and 3 hydrogens. Carbon and 3 hydrogens, backside 3 carbon and 3 hydrogens are not possible to view. Am I correct? This is your viewpoint. This is your viewpoint. Okay. Okay. So that is possible. So that means this hydrogen and this hydrogen are the same line. This hydrogen and this hydrogen are in the same line. So this hydrogen and this hydrogen are in the same line. So every hydrogen and hydrogen of both the carbon atoms are in the same line, boys. Okay. This is, we feel like that one is eclipsed on another carbon. This hydrogen eclipsed on this hydrogen. This hydrogen eclipsed on this hydrogen. Okay. This hydrogen eclipsed on this hydrogen. This hydrogen eclipsed on this hydrogen. Similarly, remaining also. This is considered as eclipsed form. This is eclipsed form. This is eclipsed form. Okay. Now, so it is difficult to explain every time like this viewpoint. It is okay. Now I'm going to represent this one in another way of representation, another projection. See here, boys. So this is your front carbon. I'm taking that front carbon as dots, and these are the 3 groups attached. Those 3 groups are hydrogens. This one, this entire arrangement is this one, boys. It is a front carbon. This is attached to 3 hydrogens. Now back carbon is not possible to view. Am I correct? So that's why that back carbon is indicated with a circle. So this is back carbon. This is back carbon. So this is front carbon. This is front carbon. This is back carbon. Now this back carbon also connected with the 3 hydrogens. So those are represented with hydrogens, boys. This is hydrogen. This is hydrogen. This is hydrogen. Okay. So this one and this one are same, boys. So this hydrogen is accumulated on this hydrogen. All these hydrogens are overlapped, boys. All those hydrogens are overlapped just like this. Just like this, all those hydrogens are overlapped. Okay. So this is front carbon as dot and back carbon as circle. This one and this one are same. This structure is given by the scientist Newman. That's why it is Newman projection formula. So this is eclipsed form, boys. This is eclipsed form, boys. Among these 2 structures, which is easy to explain, which is easy to understand the concept, I think Newman projection is easier than that of this Saha structure. This is Saha structure. Okay. So that is why. So now onwards, I'm going to explain this Newman structures, boys. This Newman structures. Okay. See here. Now I'm going to rotate this. I'm taking fixed position. Front carbon is a fixed one, and I'm going to rotate back carbon. So 60 degrees rotation is applied, boys. 60 degrees rotation is applicable. So it is a fixed position. It is fixed ending. So hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. So it is connected with carbon. So rotation clockwise, click 60 degrees. Now it seems to be like this. Hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. It seems to be like this. See here. It seems to be like this. 60 degrees rotation. See, boys, it is eclipsed form. It is eclipsed form. Okay. So exactly overlapped one another. Now I'm fixing this front carbon. I'm fixing this front carbon, and I can rotate clockwise rotation. So this is clockwise rotation. See here. See here. Back carbon is not visualized, but hydrogens are like this. Hydrogens are like this. Okay. This is another structure after 60 degrees rotation. Now one more 60 degrees rotation, same direction. It is like this. It is eclipsed form. One more 60 degrees there. It is like this. This is staggered form. This is called as staggered form. staggered changes to eclipsed, eclipsed changes to staggered for every 60 degrees rotation. For every 60 degrees rotation, one is interconverted to another one. See here, I'm representing this one. So it is a front carbon voice. It is a front carbon connected with the 3 hydrogens. Front carbon connected with the 3 hydrogens. And this is a back carbon. Back carbon. Now, so these are the 3 hydrogens. It seems to be like this. It seems to be like this. Okay. Okay, see here. Okay, see here. So these two are same. These two are same. Did you catch the concept, boys? Boys, is this concept is clear or not? Tell me. This structure is called as, this structure, boys, it is eclipsed form. It is eclipsed form. This is staggered form. It is a staggered form. Okay, very, very, very important. Very, very important. So this is eclipsed form, that is a staggered form. Sometimes this staggered form is also called as gauche form, G-A-U-C-H-E. That is a gauche form. Sometimes that form is also considered as gauche form. So that means staggered form, eclipsed form change it to staggered, staggered form change it to eclipsed for every 60 degrees rotation. For every 60 degrees rotation. Now, the angle between these two, the angle between these two is called as torsional angle. The angle between those two is called as torsional angle. The bond pair repulsions are called as torsional strain. See here. So here the angle is called as a torsion. That is a dihedral angle, which is also called as dihedral angle. That is called as a dihedral angle. And because of this bond pair and this bond pair, one bond pair from first carbon and another bond pair from second carbon, side by side, boys. So that repulsion between that bond pair and bond pair is considered as torsional strain. Torsional strain. That is constant, boys. That is constant. That is the torsional strain. Okay. So because of bond pair, because of this hydrogen and hydrogen, these two repulsions are van der Waals repulsions. So because of these two bonds, that is torsional strain. Because of those two bonds, that is called as the torsional strain. So these two hydrogens, that is because of groups, van der Waals repulsions. Boys, all these are clear. This entire explanation is considered as conformational analysis. This is called as conformation. The explanation is called as conformational analysis. Okay, so this is about our E theory. So eclipsed form changes to staggered form changes to eclipsed form for every 60 degrees rotation. So see here, I'm going to explain 60. For example, if less than 60 degrees rotation is taking place, if less than 60 degrees rotation takes place, for example, I'm taking this one, less than 60 degrees rotation. Less than 60 degrees. Nothing but this is less than 60 degrees because these two are same end. Less than 60. I'm using this one end. So see here, front carbon and hydrogens are fixed. Front carbon and hydrogens are fixed. But so rare carbon, it is exactly back side. Now it is this side end. Not exactly middle, boys. Not exactly middle. But here it is exactly middle end. But it is not exactly middle, not exactly behind the hydrogen. It is in between these two. It is in between these two. It is the structure. And this structure is called as a skew structure. This structure is considered as a skew structure. Number of the skew structures are possible for every degree rotation, every second rotation, every minute rotation. That is why infinite number of conformations are possible. Infinite number of conformations are possible. Okay. So every rotation, every single rotation gives this structure. So Q structures are number of Q structures are possible. Number of Q structures are possible. Okay. So this is about conformations in ethane. Conformations in ethane. Boys, among these three structures, that is eclipsed form and staggered form and skew form. Among these three structures, which one is more stable? Less repulsions, more stable. See here, boys. So here, apart from each other, very, very less repulsions are possible here. Here, less repulsions are. That means more stable. Less repulsions means more stable. More stable means less energy. The molecule has less energy. Molecule has less energy. Boys, these are very near to each other. So because of these two, here more repulsions are possible. More repulsions means less stable. Less stable. More repulsions means less stable means more energy. More energy of the molecules, boys. That means, so it has greatest stability, it has least stability, it has medium stability. It has not this much stable, not this much unstable. It is a medium stability. Therefore, order of stability is staggered greater than, skew greater than, eclipse. Am I correct? Order of stability there. Staggered greater than, skew greater than, eclipse. Now, order of energy ending. Eclipse greater than, skew greater than, staggered. Order of energy and order of stability. All these we are going to explain with the help of a graph ending. So that is energy diagram. So let us observe that energy diagram. So that energy diagram, boys. See here. See here. So energy is nothing but potential energy. Now. It is a potential energy. Any potential energy. Potential energy. So it is a dihedral angle. That is also called as angle of rotation. Okay. So this is at 0 degrees. Now. This is at 0 degrees. At 0 degrees, we have eclipse form. Eclipse form has more energy in it. So this is eclipse form. It has more energy in it. Eclipse form I am represented with En. Staggered form I am representing with Sn. Okay. So it is eclipse form. So for every 60 degrees rotation, after 60 rotation, that is converted into staggered energy. Staggered has less energy. So it is a less energetical energy. So it is a staggered form. Once again, one more 60 degrees, that converts into eclipse format. Like this is possible, boys. Like this is possible. See here, it is at 60 degrees, it is at 120 degrees, it is at one more 60, 180 degrees, one more 60, 240 degrees, it is at 300 degrees, it is at 360 degrees. 360 is nothing but 0 degrees. 360 degrees. Angle of rotations. So this is a staggered form. This is a staggered form. Okay. These are eclipsed forms. These are eclipsed forms. Every 60 degrees, so staggered is converted into eclipse. Eclipse is converted into staggered. So all these staggered forms have same energy in it. Sorry. All these staggered forms have same energy in it. All these eclipsed forms have also same energy in it. All these also have same energy. Okay. The energy difference between this eclipsed form to staggered form is 2.89 to 2.93 kilocalorie per mole. Per mole, we are going to explain this energy, boys. Kilocalorie per mole. There is the energy difference. So that is called as energy changes from highest energy to least energy. The energy difference is called as that analysis is called as which is what we call as so conformational analysis. Conformational analysis. All these three have same energy. That means degenerating. So in this from this concept, what are the questions we have to ask? So the questions from here. First, up to now, is there any doubt? These are Newman projection formula. In Newman projection formula, the angle between these two is considered as dihedral angle. Dihedral angle. Okay. So see here, is there any doubt up to now? It is about ethane. It is about ethane. Is there any doubt? Guys, please tell me. Guys, in between these two, these films, these are considered as skew form sending. These are nothing but skew form sending. So between staggered and eclipsed form, number of skew forms are available. Number of skew forms. Not only that one. Here, everything is skew form. Everything is skew. Okay. Is the concept clear or not? Tell me. Waiting for you. Is there any doubt up to now? Is there any doubt up to now? Van der Waals repulsions, nothing but repulsions between the groups. One group from first carbon, another group from rare carbon. Okay. That is Van der Waals repulsion. Okay, okay. Okay, boys. Now order of stability. Yes, we can call it as torsional strain. Accepted, boys. Gaurav, that is called as a torsional strain. Torsional angle, because of this angle strain, that is a torsional strain. Accepted. Okay, that Van der Waals. So it is a torsional strain also, torsional angle and torsional strain. Now, what is the order of stability of these groups? See here, first of all, bits end from this topic. First one, what is that? Number of conformers or conformation isomers. Number of conformers or conformation isomers for ethane is equal to 3 Ne. All have same energy. Same energy called as degenerated. Number of conformers or conformation isomers. So these are the conformers, boys. How many conformers are there? So 3 conformers are there. All those 3 conformers have same energy. So that's why those are called as degenerated. Same energetical one. So boys, conformers or conformation isomers is the question. Answer is 3N. But number of conformations. Number of conformations. He asked. Number of conformations. He asked. How many conformations are possible? Infinite number of conformations are possible. So please be conscious about this question ending. Conformers or conformation isomers only 3. But so conformations, infinite number of conformations are possible. So very, very important. A slight difference between these. Number of skew forms are possible. Number of skew forms are possible. Okay. Next one. Second one. So order of stability is staggered greater than skew greater than eclipse rate. Eclipse rate. Next, energy order. That is reverse. Eclipse greater than skew greater than staggered. Boys, so at high energy, what is the structure is available? What is the at high energy condition? What is the structure available? That is eclipse form is available at high energy. Eclipse is available. That means as temperature increases, the percentage of eclipse form is increased. That means population of eclipse form is increased. So therefore, note next point, as temperature increases means energy increased. That means percentage of eclipsed form, that is nothing but population of eclipsed form increases. As temperature increases, population of eclipsed form increases. Population of eclipsed form increases. It is very, very, very important. Population, that is eclipsed form, eclipsed conformers. Population of eclipsed conformers increases. It is very, very, very important. So this is about the bits which are asked generally in your exams, boys, about your ethane. Okay, so is the concept clear? Very, very, very important. It is about ethane. Now our topic is, let us take our topic is propane. That is second example. Next, somebody, conformations in propane. Conformational isomerism. Conformational isomerism of propane. Second one, conformational isomerism of propane. Conformational isomerism of propane. Boys, propane formula C3H8. Propane. Nothing but C3H8. Nothing but CH3, CH2, CH3, boys. This is first carbon, this is second carbon, this is third carbon. Now let us observe the rotation around C1, C2 carbon cell. If I am starting here, it is first, second, third, there on the C1, C2 consideration. C1, C2. Okay. Now see here. This is first carbon, boys. This is bonded with 3 hydrogens. It is the first carbon. Next, it is bonded to second carbon. It is the second carbon. For this second carbon, 2 hydrogens. So see here, I am drawing 2 hydrogens. And this methyl group is also attached to the second carbon. Therefore, 1 methyl group. It is the second, it is the third. So this is Sahar's structure for propane. Boys, is this structure clear? First carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Now we are discussing here the free rotation around C1, C2. C1, C2 free rotation we are going to discuss. C1, C2. Okay. Now I'm representing this concept in Newman projection. See here, boys. See here. So it is first carbon, hydrogen, hydrogen, hydrogen. So second carbon, it is bonded with CH3. CH3. So CH3, HHN. It is second carbon, rare carbon. It is third carbon. Okay. It is eclipsed form, boys. Methyl group and hydrogen are in the same direction. As the size of the methyl group increases, when compared to hydrogen, methyl group is more in size. As the size of the group increases, van der Waals repulsions increased. As van der Waals repulsions increases, stability decreases. That means when compared to ethane, propane is less stable. Propane is less stable. Okay. So this is eclipsed form. eclipsed form boys. At 0 degrees, it is eclipsed form. I am going to convert once again 60 degrees rotation boys. So that means, so front carbon to be fixed. It is H, front carbon is fixed and rear carbon rotated clockwise direction 60 degrees. So that means here CH3, here H are possible. CH3, H are possible. Okay, rotation boys. Rotation CH3, H possible. Now it is at 60 degrees end. At 60 degrees. Now I'm going to rotate one more 60 degrees now. One more 60 degrees. That one more 60 degrees, this methyl group this side, this hydrogen this side, this hydrogen this side. Therefore, front carbon fixed boys. Hydrogen, this is carbon ending. So this is back carbon. So this is CH3, sorry, HH. It is eclipsed form boys. It is a Gauss form. Gauss form. Okay, eclipsed form, Gauss form. See here, that means which is at 120 degrees. Which is at 120 degrees. If you rotate, so one more 60 converts into Gauss form. One more 60 converts into, so like this going on boys. So that means eclipsed form changes to Gauss form changes to eclipsed form for every 60 degrees rotation. For every 60 degrees rotation, so these two forms are interconvertible boys. These two forms are interconvertible. Okay, so therefore the energy diagram is like this. Just like in methane, that is ethane. So it is like this boys. So it is Gauss form. This is eclipsed forms. Eclipsed forms. So this is dihedral angle. This is potential energy ending. It is eclipsed form. It is Gauss form. Eclipsed form, Gauss form. So it is just similar to ethane boys. So this is about propane, less important. But the next coming out, that is butane. So we are going to explain conformational isomerism in butane. So this is about propane. Now our question is N-butane. That is the third one. Conformational isomerism of N-butane. Yes, why not? Front carbon also you can consider boys, methyl. Back carbon, hydrogen. But same structures are possible. Same concept is applicable. Okay. Now conformational isomerism of N-butane. See here boys, N-butane. Nothing but 4 carbons in the same chain, single chain ending. So it is CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. It is N-butane, single chain ending. It is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. If we are going to discuss about the rotation around C1, C2 carbons, so see here, if we are going to discuss around C1, C2 carbons, one carbon with methyl groups, second carbon with 2 hydrogens and ethyl group. Therefore, so at this position, so if C1, C2 rotation is considered, If C1, C2 rotation is considered, so the conformational isomerism is similar to propane. Conformational isomerism is similar to propane. There methyl group is there, here ethyl group is there. It is ethyl group. So these are the two hydrogens, these are the groups attached. There methyl group is there, here ethyl group. Everywhere the similar concept is applicable. So it is just similar to propane. But if C2C3 rotation is applicable, but if we consider C2C3 rotation, it is different. So if we consider C2C3, that means free rotation along C2C3 carbons, that is different. So now I'm going to explain. So free rotation at C2C3 position. Okay. Now our concept is at C2C3 free rotation. Okay. See here. See here, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. So it is first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. Here we are considering C2C3 rotation. Single bond, C2C3 single bond rotation. We are going to consider any. See here, boys. So this is the carbon bonded with two hydrogens and one methyl group. Methyl group and two hydrogens. Methyl group and two hydrogens are attached. Okay. I am going to represent Newman projection formula. Newman projection formula. See here, front carbon. This is CH3. This is the carbon, this one. Second carbon is this one. First carbon is this one. Second carbon. This second carbon has two hydrogens. Okay. Next. This is third carbon. Third carbon has one methyl group, two hydrogens. So see here. One methyl group and two hydrogens. One methyl group, two hydrogens. Twice, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. Okay, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon. Please conscious. Please be conscious. It is one of the structures. Now, every 60 degrees rotation, what do we have to observe? See here. First of all, I am representing constant training. Front carbon is constant, boys. So CH3, H, these are fixed. CH3, H. CH3, H. Total 6 structures are required, boys. CH3, H. CH3, H. See here, boys. First of all, it is at 0 degrees. It is at 0 degrees. So it is methyl group and methyl group are eclipsed. Hydrogen and hydrogen are eclipsed. Hydrogen and hydrogen. That means similar groups are eclipsed, boys, which is called as fully eclipsed. Which is considered as fully eclipsed. Exactly similar groups are eclipsed conditions, which is considered as fully eclipsed. Now I am going to rotate 60 degrees, boys. Now which is at 60 degrees. See here, I am rotating clockwise, only one direction rotation. So this methyl group here, this hydrogen here, this hydrogen here. So therefore it is CH3, It is H, it is H. CH3, HH. This is called as Gauss form. Gauss form. Next, one more 60 degrees. One more 60 degrees. Now, which is at 120 degrees. At 120 degrees. One more rotation. This methyl here, this hydrogen here, this hydrogen here. This hydrogen here. This is a methyl group, eclipse condition. It is eclipse condition. Okay, methyl hydrogen, hydrogen, which is boys. So what is the difference between this one and this one? Here methyl, methyl eclipsed, hydrogen, hydrogen eclipsed, hydrogen. That means similar groups are eclipsed, but here not similar groups, but eclipse condition. Therefore, it is considered as partially eclipsed. Partially eclipsed. So it is fully eclipsed, symbolized with F era. It is Gauss form. I am taking G. It is partially eclipsed P era. Later, these terms are used, boys. Partially eclipsed P era. Next, one more 60 degrees, boys. One more 60 degrees clockwise rotation. Okay. Now, this methyl group here, this hydrogen here, this hydrogen here. So this is at hydrogen. This is a methyl group. This is hydrogen, boys. Okay, which is at after 120, it is 180 degrees. It is at 180 degrees. See, boys, two methyl groups are opposite. Two hydrogens exactly opposite. Two hydrogens exactly opposite. So exact opposite conditions are, which is considered as either transform, trans means opposited, which is a transform or anti-form or staggered form, which is transform or anti-form or staggered form. So I'm taking represented this one as Sn. Okay, so that means similar groups apart from each other. So large difference in the distance is there. Large distance is there between similar groups. Next, one more 60 degrees rotation. One more 60 degrees rotation. That is this methyl here, this hydrogen here, this hydrogen here. So here it is a hydrogen. Here it is a hydrogen. Here it is a methyl group. It is a methyl group, boys. Okay. So now this one and this one are similar. Here methyl hydrogen, here methyl hydrogen. So it is also considered as partially eclipsed. Eclipsed, but not identical groups are eclipsed. So different groups are eclipsed. That's what is called as partially eclipsed. So which is H. So 180 plus one more 60. That is 240 degrees. At 240 degrees, this is the condition, boys. Now one more 60 degrees rotation. One more 60. This methyl group here, this hydrogen here, this one. So it is methyl. It is a hydrogen. It is a hydrogen, boys. This one and this one are same ending. Therefore, it is a Gauss form ending. Gauss form, which is one more 60. That means 300 degrees ending at 300 degrees. Next, one more 60 degrees rotation. One more 60 degrees rotation. Now it becomes 360 degrees. 0 degrees is nothing but 360. Once again, this is fully eclipsed form, boys. These are the different structures, different conformational isomers possible in N-butane if we observe rotation at C2 and C3 position. If we observe C2 and C3 position, it is the rotation we observe. So it is very, very important. Boys, is there any doubt in these structures? Is there any doubt in these structures? These are the Newman projection formula. These are the Newman projection formula for N-butane if we observe C2, C3 rotation in conformational isomerism. Okay. Yes, we will. I explain. We will. So up to structures, is this clear? Up to structures, is this clear? Now, sir, which one is stable? Which one is less stable? Which one is more stable? More repulsions, less stable. Less repulsions, more stable. Okay. See here, boys. Methyl, methyl, similar groups. Bulky groups exactly aparted. Almost shortest distance. So therefore, shortest distance means More repulsions, more repulsions here. See here, boys, just a minute. Here, more repulsions. More repulsions means less stable. Less stable means more energy. More energy. So that means it is the least stable and having most energy. Next, see boys here, methyl group apart, hydrogen apart, hydrogen apart. And that means in this structure, least repulsions. Least repulsions means more stable. Means less energy. More stable and less energy, that is nothing but least energy. Not less, it is better to go with least energy condition, guys. Least energy. It is more energy, least energy. Now, see here. Methyl and hydrogen, something repulsions are possible. So that means, so it is a partially eclipsed, boys, but that means some repulsions are possible. Some repulsions are possible. Harishankar, some repulsions are possible. That means something more energy, some energy. Some more energy. Not most. Not highest energy, but something high energy is there. Okay. Now here, Gauss formula. So apart from each other. Now order of stability, identify order of stability. Tell me, boys, which is most stable among all these structures? Which is most stable? Most stable form is this form. And what is that? Anti form. So anti greater than. Next stability, boys. Next stability, this one. So Gauss form. Gauss form. Next stability, boys. Next stability. It is partially eclipsed. Next stability. Next stability. It is nothing but fully eclipsed. So this is the order of stability, boys. So most stable form is anti form. Least stable form is fully eclipsed form. So reverse is energy order, boys. Reverse is energy order. Okay. So therefore, order of energy. Order of energy, that is fully eclipsed greater than, partially eclipsed greater than, Gauss greater than, anti-end. Fully eclipsed greater than, partially eclipsed greater than, Gauss greater than, anti-end. That is order of energy. Order. All these are important, boys. All these are important. Okay. See here, boys. So here some technical words are used. So this fully eclipsed form is optically inactive. Later I will explain, boys. Please note down. Optically inactive. Okay. So COS, center of symmetry, not possible. Not possible. But plane of symmetry is possible. POS, plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry is possible. Center of symmetry not possible. It is optically inactive. But here, center of symmetry not possible. Plane of symmetry not possible. So it is optically active form. Optically active. It is optically inactive. That is optically active. Next, third formula. It is optically active. Next, center of symmetry not possible. Plane of symmetry also not possible. Plane of symmetry also not possible. Center of symmetry, plane of symmetry not possible. Next, anti-formula. So here plane of symmetry is possible, boys. So that is, so center of symmetry possible. place of symmetry possible, optically inactive. Optically inactive. So boys, at the time of optical rotations, that is optical isomerism, I will explain this. So please note down all these. Optically inactive. Next, what about this? This one and this one are same ending. Therefore, it is optically active. It is optically active. Center of symmetry not possible, and plane of symmetry also not possible. Plane of symmetry also not possible. This one and this one possible. Same ra. That is, so center of symmetry not possible. Plane of symmetry not possible. Optically active. See boys, if both are absent, optically active. If anyone is there, optically inactive. Optically. See here, what we are used? COS, nothing but center of symmetry. POS, plane of symmetry. Next, OA means optically active. IA means optically inactive. IA used or OI. OI, optically inactive. So optically inactive. That is, please be conscious. These are very, very, very important. These are very, very important. So this is about conformational isomerism. So now all these we are going to explain with the help of energy diagram. Energy diagram. One to another conversion, boys. One to another conversion. See here, energy diagram. How is this? Energy diagram for N-butane, boys. Boys, blue colored pen, clear to visual, visible, clear to visible or not? Is this blue pen clear to visible or not? Okay, thank you. Okay, right. Now I'm going to explain energy diagram, boys. Energy diagram. Okay, it is potential energy. It is angle of rotation or dihedral angle. Angle of rotation, that is dihedral angle. Now, boys, at 0 degrees, it is fully eclipsed. Fully eclipsed means most energy ending. So it is most energy ending. So 60 degrees, Gauss form, something less energy ending. So see here, it is coming like this. Like this structure is possible, guys. It is coming like this. Okay, it is so fully eclipsed. It is fully eclipsed. It is Gauss form. It is partially eclipsed. It is anti-form. It is partially eclipsed. It is Gauss form. It is fully eclipsed. It is fully eclipsed. Okay, so it is at 0 degrees. It is at 0 degrees now. It is at 60 degrees. It is at 120 degrees. It is at 180 degrees. It is at 240, 300, 360. So 360 once again fully eclipsed condition. 360 once again 300 kilo. Okay. So see here, boys. Both the Gauss forms have same energy. Both the Gauss forms have same energy. Both the full partially eclipsed has same energy. Both the fully eclipsed forms have same energy. Something more than that of partially eclipsed. It is anti-form. It is anti-form. Okay. So it is the order ending. So that is the energy profile diagram, boys. Energy profile diagram. Just a minute. So energy changes, boys. This is So the energy difference between these two, the energy difference between those two, how much it is? 15.06. 15.06 kilojoules per mole. 15.06 per mole. Next, the energy difference between these two and the energy difference between partially eclipsed to and TNT, that is 12.13 kilojoules. 12.13 kilojoule per mole and 12.13 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Next, the energy difference between other cases, and that is this one and this one is completed. Okay. Okay. So this is some energy differences, boys. This is some energy differences. So very, very, very important. So this is now these energy changes may vary if physical state of the material is changed. That is N-butane may be in gaseous state, maybe in liquid state. In gaseous state, how much is the difference? In liquid state, how much is the difference? Let us observe the difference of energies, boys. Okay, boys, up to now, is there any doubt? Up to now, is there any doubt? Tell me. Up to now, is there any doubt? Now we are going to discuss some objective bits here. Some objective bits. See here, boys. So based on N-butane, the objective bits end. First point, number of conformers or conformational isomers is equal to 3. Number of conformers or conformational isomers is equal to 3, but all have different energies. Fully eclipsed gauge forms. So that is why it is non-degenerate. Non-degenerate, boys. Non-degenerate. Next, number of conformations. Infinity. Number of conformations, infinity. Next point. In gas phase, energy difference is energy difference is 0.892 to 0.97 kilocalorie per mole. Kilocalorie per mole. In liquid phase, that means N-butane in gas phase, N-butane in liquid phase. Energy difference is 0.54 to 0.57 kilocalorie per mole. 0.54 to 0.57 kilocalorie per mole. Okay. Third point. So solvent affects conformational energies. Conformation energies. So if solvent changes, automatic conformation energy changes. Energies are also changed, boys. Okay. Next, here staggered is in equilibrium with gauge, which is in equilibrium with eclipse ring, which is in equilibrium with eclipse. But so the population of eclipse form is equal to 0 points. Almost eclipse form is 0. That means only Gaussian staggered forms are interconvertible boys. Gauss and staggered forms are interconvertible. These are the three forms, boys. These three forms have different energies. These three forms have different energies. Okay. So, but almost eclipse form is zero population. That means maximum Gaussian staggered forms are exist. Maximum Gaussian staggered forms are exist. Staggered is indicated with S, Gauss indicated with G and E. Now, how to calculate dipole moment? Dipole moment of this conformation is equal to dipole moment of staggered form and mole fraction of staggered form plus dipole moment of Gauss form into mole fraction of Gauss form. So it is the way to calculate dipole moment of N-butane. Dipole moment of N-butane is equal to dipole moment of staggered form into its mole fraction plus dipole moment of Gauss form and its mole fraction. Okay. Next, fifth point, that is staggered is interconvertible to Gauss form. It has low energy. It has high energy. It has low energy and high energy. That means as temperature increases, so high energetical forms are increasing. As temperature increases, Gauss molecules population also increases. Gauss molecules population also increases. And finally, the most important point is butane overall optically inactive. Sir, how to explain this optical activity and optical inactivity? At the time of optical isomerism, we will explain, boys. So that is butane is optically inactive. Butane is optically inactive. So this is all about conformations in N-butane. That to at C2C3 rotation. C2 along C2C3 single bond rotation. So this is the concepts we observe, boys. We observe. Very, very, very important. Very, very important. Let us take a question. See here. Questioning. Compare rotational energies and rotational barriers, energy barriers. Barriers, B-A-R-R-I-E-R. Compare rotational barriers. See here, first bit A, order end. So this is the rotation, boys. Please observe that rotation. Next, B. It is the rotation we observe. C. It is the rotation. So which one is more, which one has less? So more energy is required for rotation is more energy barrier. Less energy is less energy barrier, boys. So see here, which one has more, which one has less. So here two ethyl groups. Here two ethyl groups rotation. Here one ethyl group, one methyl group rotation. Here one ethyl group, one propyl group rotation. As the size of the alkyl group increases, energy barrier also increases. Therefore, the order is C less than A less than B. C less than A less than B. This is the order of energy. So for this rotation, less energy is sufficient. For this rotation, something more. For this rotation, something more, because it is ethyl group. It is methyl group. It is ethyl. It is ethyl. It is propyl. That means as the size of the alkyl group increases, so energy required for rotation also increases. Energy required for rotation also increases. Therefore, the order is C less than A less than B. Next, tell me the answer. So it is here. I am taking rotation at this position. Okay. Next, B and it is double bond. I am taking rotation at this position. Next, C. I am taking rotation at that position. See here, boys. Here single bond rotation. Here single bond rotation. Here double bond rotation. Here conjugated double bond, boys. Conjugated double bond involved in resonance. Sometimes here single bond, sometimes double bond. Both characters are available. Both characters are available. Therefore, it is only single bonds. It is single bond or double bond any. That's why there is more. So double bond is very, very high. That means almost restricted rotation, boys. So therefore, it is Bn. A less than C less than Bn. Boys, see here. So if this bond is here, this bond is here, and that means it converted like this. This is positive, this is negative. If this bond is here, that means sometimes between these two double bond characters, sometimes between these two single bond characters. Because of that, so something more energy than this one. So therefore, A less than C less than B. So like this, energy requirements also we will identify, boys. So it is the way to explain unconformational isomerism in ethane, propane, and N-butane, boys. So tomorrow we are going to discuss substituted ethanes and some other compounds conformational isomerism. So up to now, thank you, boys. Thanks a lot. Bye, all of you.